Good day, friends. This is Bruce McCullum, President of Direct Care Training and Resource Center on the web, www.directcaretraining.com. It's a real honor for me to be able to spend just a few minutes with you talking about providing residential services to those who have been victims of neurological or perhaps even traumatic brain injury. I'm looking forward to talking about how residential programs, which are properly structured for persons with this kind of injury, can go a long way in serving communities. Having spent 17 years as of the time of this recording in some aspect of long-term care or another, I can tell you that many of the programs I have come across are substandard at best. Some proprietors simply do not understand and refuse to try to understand the very delicate needs of persons who have sustained catastrophic injury, often in an auto collision. You might see one on your screen now that communicates to you how difficult these situations can very easily and quickly become. In this brief presentation, I provide you with some key elements of establishing and managing the kind of business that can have success in many communities. Of course, this does not cover everything involved in the success spectrum, as there is so much more. But I think in the business development manual I authored, The Complete Guide to Success in Residential Neuro-Rehab, you will find more of a blueprint to help you understand how this aspect of long-term care must be organized in order to maximize the benefit to the residents. But for now, here are the 3 items I want to focus on in this brief presentation. Number 1 is understanding the nuances of brain injury. After all, if our clinical understanding of what has happened to someone with this level of catastrophic injury is insufficient, how well can we serve that person? Number 2, educating yourself about all available reimbursement sources for your services. And number 3, establishing program outcomes. Those are our focuses today. But first, understanding the nuances of brain injury. Traumatic brain injury, often referred to as TBI, is most often an acute event similar to other injuries. But that is where the similarity between traumatic brain injury and other injuries end. One moment the person is normal, and the next moment life has abruptly changed. In most other aspects, a traumatic brain injury is very different. Since our brain defines who we are, the consequences of a brain injury can affect all aspects of our lives, including our personality. A brain injury is different from a broken limb or punctured lung. An injury in these areas limit the use of a specific part of your body, but your personality and mental abilities often remain unchanged. Most often, these body structures heal. They regain their previous function. But brains don't heal like other injuries. Recovery is a functional recovery, based upon mechanisms that remain uncertain. No 2 brain injuries are alike, and the consequence of 2 similar injuries may be very different. Symptoms may appear right away, or may not be present for days or weeks after the injury. One of the consequences of brain injury is that the person often does not realize that a brain injury has even occurred. I can tell you of a story with my own mother, who slipped on the ice in one of these horrible Michigan winters, fell and ended up sliding under her car, and in the process hit her head on the ground. And she dealt with the result of that the rest of her natural life. Typically, we categorize brain injury as mild, moderate, or severe. But your understanding these nuances and having the kind of intimate knowledge that relates to this level of injury, similar to what I just shared with you, will help you create the kind of program that is beneficial for those it serves. I tend to get disturbed when I hear people say, I'm going to open a home and I'm going to serve those with brain injuries, but the sentence never ends with, and I'm going to do this to make sure that regardless of the fact that I may not have a clinical background or a rehabilitative background, I'm going to do this to ensure my program operates in the best interest of those who live in that structure. You want to make sure that you understand the nuances of injury when it comes to the brain and other neurological episodes of the body, so you can really render quality services. Item B, educate yourself about all available reimbursement resources. Many brain and other neurological injuries result from auto collisions. As a result, the care may be reimbursable by certain benefits of your state's auto no-fault law or a Medicaid waiver or the public health system in your country. It is important that you know how these benefit systems work before you dive into the business. I'm also big into advising that you understand, in what direction the winds of the politics are blowing as well. I happen to be a tough old bird, and I have come to understand how to manage the politics of it all, and I take a rather take-no-prisoner approach to making sure victims get the best care available. However, it is important that you go into this business prepared to deal with or sharpen your program so you can respond to some of the politics. Reimbursements may also come from other special catastrophic funds established where you operate that are specific to those who have been injured in vehicles. I give you specific elements to do research with in the Business Development Manual authored, which you can click on, that's to the right of the screen, and order it today. You want to use that manual as a blueprint in developing the kind of programmatic understanding that will contribute, by the way, to your lifting up the right rocks and getting the money that's under them. Brain injury associations may also be a source for not only program direction and service enhancement, but also reimbursement knowledge. In that same business development kit that I just referenced, I talked about that, and I give you 10 comprehensive websites that will help you in that process. The third item is establish your program outcomes. Your program must have predetermined outcomes. This allows you to develop with specific goals and a real set of goals for those you enroll. I love programs which are planning a person's discharge from the time they're admitted. This means that the rehabilitative team is focused on a clear set of parameters and priorities determined to help someone maximize their functionality in accordance with their rehabilitative potential. Think of it as similar to goals of those residential programs for the elderly, which often are very specific, maybe managing incontinence, preventing premature institutionalization by doing a better job managing medication administration and nutrition for this person. Well, when it comes to neuro-rehab, it is just as appropriate to include clinical and rehabilitative outcomes for real success. Today, I have only touched on a few items that are of real importance. Surely there are many more, and when you click to obtain that manual today from this page, you'll be able to learn more about how these programs work. And if you decide to structure one or enhance the one you currently operate, you'll be in a better position to make sure it is quality-oriented and quality-driven. You can always find me on the web at www.directcaretraining.com, by phone at 888-432-6813. And no matter what your direction, I'm sure you'll take the highest quality one, and I'll look to see you on the mountain of success.